Hey there, guys. I'm going to go over an indicator. I think it covers a very huge gap that we've all been wanting to solve. And I have a really good golden nugget that I'm going to show you at the end. And I just want to let you guys know I wanted to automate everyone's workflow, and I hope this is the tool that works. Uh, Here's my handle and my picture, and just message me if you want access to this. Just to be warned, I'm going to be updating this a lot, so you might see changes. And so this is the script, but these are the people that inspired uh, what I made, and I'm gonna share that with everyone once I figure the runtime issue I'm having. But as you can see, when you add it to the chart, the daily, it takes a second to load. The 4 hour did, but when you get to the lower time frames, it takes a lot longer to load, and that's not going to be fair to people who have I have a pretty good setup with my CPU and internet connection, so it's not going to be fair to everyone who has you know slower computer or slower network. So that's why I haven't just pushed this out, and I'm not sure if TradingView would allow me to push something out that doesn't really work all the way. But right now it's a private script. Just message me and I'll add you. And if anyone wants to help me, if they're good at PineScript, help me out. That would be awesome. I do C++, Java, and Python, so I'm a little bit weak on this PineScript stuff. And this is what I'm talking about. It's still loading on the 1 hour. Like, we might run into a runtime error. And that's actually, wow, it loaded up. Anyways, without further ado, so I wanted an indicator. I'm just going to go over the meat and potatoes. That will hit like support and resistance levels, and then signal me if there's a divergence on market cipher B or a volume spike. So as price goes up into the support or resistance zone, and there's a volume spike or divergence, I want it to flag my alerts. And that's what this is. All right. So we all know the support and resistance levels. They're daily, weekly, monthly. It takes horizontal rays from each of those areas, and it will automatically populate it. And as price closes above these levels or in these levels and rejects, they will disappear for the daily levels and weekly and monthly. They'll automatically clean up your chart. That way you're not using old levels. Like back here, you can't see those lines. That's because we already rejected off those levels. So you'll always have fresh levels. The next thing is I always grab these boxes and I highlight these areas of confluence. I automatically program that into the system. You can change the colors. You can change the labels on everything. You can color code these. You don't even have to have the labels. Whatever you want to do, you can fully customize it in the input section. All right, and like right here, the language, the colors, um, all the way down to that confluence box right here, right? And this is the spread at 1.5. It works the best. You can change it, obviously. So that's what I wanted to capture. So the only thing I couldn't program was the fibs. They're extremely difficult. I can't figure it out yet. I've gotten some to work, but it's just not as good as you pulling one yourself. So we're obviously going to be missing signals. So the way you use this is, or actually, let me go over a couple more things. So the diamonds, the green diamonds, and then you're going to have red diamonds, right? This is where market cipher comes in. So you have your bearish divergence, right? You have momentum going down and price going up, right? We all know what a divergence is. And CryptoFace says when you have the red dot, make sure it confirms. You have your anchor wave, your trigger wave, and then boom, it closes that candle, and then we get that signal. All right, so that's how the divergences work on both sides, and on the bearish and bullish side. So let's go down right here. Obviously, you can see price going down, momentum going up in cipher B, and it waits for that dot to close before it signals, right? The third thing I added, this is from Lance B, and I watched all of his courses, and he articulated volume spikes going into support and resistance. He said it very well, but it was extremely hard to program. It was the hardest part about programming this code. It was incredibly hard to program. So I added that as a point of confluence. So this is where that indicator makes its value, right? So as price came into this resistance, we had a volume spike, and it signaled, it triggered it. That's what these triggers are. And you'll see these volume spikes in these candles, and yes, you can change the colors, you can do whatever you want, but as you can see, we had a volume spike, but there's no support. So it didn't flag. It didn't flag. We actually skipped it. Even though sometimes they work by themselves, and even though these divergences work by themselves, if it doesn't go into the support and resistance, it will not flag. So you can choose whether you want to test these out by themselves, whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. Um, and you can turn on alerts just for the divergences. You can turn on the alerts just for these, or for everything, or whatever you want. So the next thing I want to go over is back testing. So we're going to use the 4-hour. And when you shift time frames, it's going to load. And say we want to go back test. I want to see why this signaled divergence, a bullish divergence, but that was the top, right? So you just hit the replay button. And as you can see, we have a yearly point of control and value area low in this area. And that's probably why you saw this bullish divergence, right? You have this going down, price going up, and it didn't really signal though. But then you see that the areas, basically all the volume shifts. It shifts live. So we can see that, boom, it said long right there because there's still divergence, right? And we went into a resistance. So that might be something you're like, I don't know, we're in a resistance, but I see money flow going down. So let's press play. And obviously that wasn't a good call. And we'll watch price shift. These value areas are shifting because time changes. They shift because volume shifts. Look at that. We're going into a resistance right now, but we're not getting divergences. And boom, it flagged the divergence late, but you can see this volume spike. And boom, we hit that daily support with a volume spike, right? And it looks like we're getting a trigger wave, but that would signal maybe a long, right? In paper trading. And look at that. We tapped and rejected quickly off of that resistance. And those yearly value area lows and monthly point of controls, they're not that as strong as the yearlies. And then we're printing a divergence here. From here to here, we're printing that divergence. Let's see if that plays off out. And it did. And we kind of have, I wouldn't call that, yeah, that's a divergence. They didn't mark it though, but. Okay, now we're getting a signal to short because there was uh, a volume spike into daily resistance. And let's see how that plays out. okay, so that played out, and we went back to that level again, and now that's our new resistance, and now we have this these two daily supports with a volume spike. Let's see if that plays out. And we rejected off a level, but that's the whole point of this tool. Obviously, we want to know why we missed that. Like, there are gaps. So the reason why I'm using the volume spikes is, um, in this instance, Market Cipher B did a good job at spotting those highs, but we didn't get a volume spike, right? And then we came down, but Market Cipher B didn't spot this because price moved too quickly, and that's where the volume spike covers that gap, is for the quick, because with the divergences, they work great uh, with normal price movement. But when we get these volume spikes, the divergence doesn't get time to develop yet. And that was the gap. That's the golden nugget that I was trying to capture. And I figured it out. I figured that part out. And obviously, we're missing some things. Like, what is this? I have to like really investigate that and figure out, go through all the indicators, go through maybe ATR or RSI. I have to figure out why we didn't get a signal, either in divergence or volume spike on that or this top. I will figure that out and I will push out that update. I just have to do a lot of research and thinking. And yeah, that's the problem I was trying to solve for everyone, is get this stuff loaded up. Obviously, I have to come up with a name. This is kind of a pseudo name. I don't want to like use someone's name. I want to dedicate it in their name, but I don't want, I don't want any issues. So it's obviously not going to be test levels, but for now, since it is a test, if you ask me to use it, if you message me, I'll let you use it. If you message me on Discord, I check it less. I'll let you use this and back test it. Let me know how it works on stocks, like if you trade GameStop. I know Wall Street bets and all that. Um, so we're signaling right there for a short. Um, there's that divergence on that daily support. That's pretty cool. It looks like this is kind of signaling right here is signaling short. Right there was signaling short. It looks like this is I don't trade stocks, but there's an option. What's up here? Oh dang. There we go. So it looks like you can use this on stocks. I don't know. I haven't tested it. But you can back test this. Let me know if you trade stocks or Forex, if it works well on those. You've got that monthly resistance there, weekly. Yeah, let me know. And I hope, this helps people identify what methods work. And, I hope this helps at least by bare minimum, if you're doing TA, and you're like, okay, like I took 25 minutes drawing all these lines on Bitcoin, and you're moving to Ethereum, takes another 25 minutes to draw all these lines. I hope this at least automates that process for you. Like, that way you're not spending the whole weekend or a whole Sunday night trying to mark all these levels for like Sol or whatever. It just automatically does it for you. Like, that's what I was hoping. The signals are awesome. Like, the divergence and like all this stuff is really cool. Like, I'm I'm nerding out over this. Like, this was like the bottom, like that's pretty cool. So let me know what you think, and that's all I got. Enjoy the tool. Peace. And be kind to people.